So you just finished a long cut and wish to regain your strength rather quickly. What do? 2-week frequency bulk. Allow me to explain what that is. Essentially, for the next 2 weeks, eat in a calorie surplus of 10 to 20% and train every single day, either in a full body setup or a one lift a day setup. Very simple stuff. And for more information on high frequency training, please watch my video on how to train every single day. So what are you accomplishing by doing this? Well, the calorie surplus is really what's going to make the biggest difference here. But the problem with doing a calorie surplus on a regular routine is that you don't have enough time to gain strength. On top of that, if you prolong that little bulking cycle, you will regain all that fat that you lost. So what you need to regain your strength very quickly is a calorie surplus mixed with high frequency. If you're working out every single day with the calorie surplus included, you will recover no problem and your strength gains will be out of this world. There are many studies proving the effectiveness of high frequency. The Norwegian study was one of them, and there's lots of anecdotes supporting this as well. If you train every single day, by the end of the week, you're accumulating a large workload, which is fine for hypertrophy, and you're still getting a lot of sets in, but they're all quality sets because you're not having fatigue and other factors like that. From a hypertrophy perspective, you'll be fine. And from a strength perspective, you'll probably gain more than a lower frequency approach. So this is by far the best routine that you could do after coming back from a long cut because it will minimize the fat gain. The max you can expect to gain in 2 weeks, 14 days, is 1-2 pounds of fat. If you're in a 10 to 20% calorie surplus, it'll be very, very minimal. So the trade-off is extremely, extremely worth it. You can acquire a large amount of strength because of this improved recovery, because of the surplus and the high frequency, but you're not going to get the fat back. That's what I'm talking about. If you were to run a regular routine with a surplus, you would gain more fat proportional to the strength, and it would take longer than a month, for sure. This way, you are guaranteed to recover because the surplus and the high frequency is guaranteed to increase your strength fast. Plus, you'll have the muscle memory on your side. That's what I'm talking about, guys. So try it out. It's called a 2-week frequency bulk. You do this after doing a long cut, and then you go back to your regular routine, and now you have a greater base than if you did not do this. Oh, and I forgot to mention some guidelines here. When doing the full body every day, keep the exercise selection on the lower side. So no more than 2 presses or 2 back movements at the absolute max. Ideally, just 1, and keep the sets low. So don't be doing 5 sets of 10. Keep it like 1 or 2 sets of 10 at the absolute max and refrain from going to failure. I would also keep it conservative with the percentages. Not going higher than 90% would probably be best, although there are some lifters who do that. I would say for most, you just keep it at 90 at the absolute max and refrain from ego lifting as much as possible. Really get some quality sets in, some quality volume. And for the accessories, if you're going to do any, keep it very simple. Like no more than 1 tricep and bicep movement, for example, okay? And don't overdo it on the volume either. So what you're doing is you're picking the most effective compound movements, the best accessories, if you're going to be doing it at all, and the percentages are rather conservative and you're not overdoing it on the volume. But at the end of the week, you're accumulating a large amount of workload, which is great for hypertrophy and strength training. Strength training, especially with the high frequency. So that's all you have to do. Again, watch my video on how to train every day where I explain more on how to do this. So I strongly recommend it. Give it a shot. And share with me your feedback in 2 weeks from now. I want to know how much strength you gained. So I look forward to hearing back from you in 2 weeks or whenever you finish your cut.